Death of the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, his noble grave throughout the ages.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
إنك ميت وإنهم ميتون ثم إنكم يوم القيامة عند ربكم تختصمون.
صدق الله العظيم.
In the 11th year after Hijri, and after his return from the farewell pilgrimage, the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, became seriously ill. He requested from his wives to permit him to be nursed at Aisha's apartment. He had a feeling that his life was close to an end since the revelation of the verse, "This day I have perfected your religion for you, completed my favor upon you, and have chosen for you Islam as your religion." Among the things he said in his last sermon was the following: Allah gave a servant the options of choosing between being given what he wills of the beauties of this world and that which is with him, and the servant chose that which is with him. When Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, heard this statement, he wept, for he realized that the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, was announcing his departure and bidding them farewell. On Monday, the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, his pure soul departed from this worldly life and he joined the highest companion. He was bathed and shrouded by Ali ibn Abi Talib, Al-Fadl ibn Abbas, and Usama ibn Zayd. May Allah be pleased with them. His companions came in one by one and performed funeral prayer on him. The women then came and performed funeral prayer on him, and the children also took their turns in doing so. The companion Khawli ibn al-Aws al-Ansari dug the grave of the Prophet's pure body, was then buried in it. The grave was dug with a niche in the lateral wall that had the honor of sheltering the noble body of the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. The grave's top was filled with light earth and no structure was erected on it. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, preferred to remain in her room beside the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. In the 13th year after Hijri, her father, the righteous Caliph Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, also died. While he was in the agony of death, he requested that he be buried beside the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. So, a grave was dug for him behind that of Allah's Messenger. His head was placed opposite the Prophet's shoulders. Aisha remained in her apartment beside her beloved husband and her dear father. In the year 23, in the very late time of 23 after Hijri, the Magi Abu Lu'lu'a stabbed Umar ibn al-Khattab while he was leading people in Fajr prayer. When he felt that death was near, he sent to Aisha seeking her permission to be buried on the remaining place in her room beside the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Aisha said, "I wanted the place for myself, but today I am going to give him preference over myself." A grave was then dug for him slightly towards the eastern side of the room, opposite the Prophet's feet and behind Abu Bakr's grave. Thereby, Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, got what he wished. Thereafter, Aisha erected a partition between herself and graves and lived the rest of her life with memories of prophethood until she died in the year 57 after Hijri, and she was buried at Baqi'. In the 86th year after Hijri, the Khalif al-Walid ibn Abdul Malik commanded that the reconstruction and extension of the Prophet's mosque. He also commanded that the apartment of members of the Prophet's household be annexed to it. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz was then the governor of Al-Madinah, who supervised the construction. The mosque was extended from the three sides, east, north and west. The apartments were pulled down, except of Aisha. Her apartment was rebuilt with stone and its walls were raised up. A triangle barrier was built around it with its head toward north and its base towards the south, so that the worshipper would not have to face the graves while performing prayer, and the Muslims would be able to salute the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and his two companions from the front at the base of the triangle. Some historical sources report that in the year 557 after Hijri, during the Crusades, some bigoted people sent two men who disguised as Moroccan pilgrims to Al-Madinah. They rented a house opposite the prophetic chamber and started digging a tunnel to the noble grave with the aim of stealing the Prophet's pure body in order to subjugate and humiliate the Muslims. Then the Sultan, Nuruddin Zanki, was engaged in war fronts north of Iraq. He had a dream in which he saw the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, who informed about the two men and showed him their faces. He woke up terrified, and he immediately headed for Al-Madinah. He commanded that all the inhabitants of the city be paraded before him until he was able to identify the two men. He forced them to confess, which they did, after great difficulties, and commanded that they be beheaded. Then he ordered that a deep foundation be dug around the chamber and be filled with lead. He then rebuilt the walls on this foundation. If the above report is correct, it is a manifestation of Allah's protection for His Messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him in life and in death. It is also a manifestation of His protection for him that in the year 654 after Hijri, a massive fire broke out in the Prophet's mosque as a result of error committed by one of the men who took care of the mosque. The fire spread throughout the mosque and its ceiling was destroyed, except the part that covered the Prophet's chamber. In the year 678 after Hijri, the Mamluk Sultan Qalawun ordered that a dome be fitted over the chamber. A small inner dome was built that covered the entire roof. Another bigger dome was then built over the smaller one, and it was covered with lead sheets and named White Dome because it shined in sunlight. On a stormy night at the beginning of the month of Ramadan, in the year 886 after Hijri, a bolt of lightning struck the southern minaret. The minaret fell over the roof, causing the outbreak of a blaze that spread all over the mosque, with its parts falling apart one after another. But Allah saved the Prophet's chamber and was not in the least affected by the fire. The mosque was then rebuilt by Sultan Aytaba, and a large compartment was erected around the chamber that included the place where Fatima's room was situated. It also included a part of Ar-Rawda al-Sharifa. It is the compartment that is there today and that receives, along with the rest of the Prophet's mosque, greatest care from the authority, and in front of which Muslims stand to invoke Allah's blessings upon the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, with the tongues and their throbbing hearts, in compliance with Allah saying,
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
Verily Allah and His angels send salah upon the Prophet. O you who believe, send salah and send salutations upon the Prophet. O Allah, send blessings and mercy upon him, his family, his companions, and his wives. O Allah, fill our hearts with your love and the love of your Prophet. Let us succeed in the following of your law and adhering to the sunnah of your messenger.